Hello, we are María Teresa Alameda Castillo and Daniel Pérez del Prado, Associate Professor of Labor and Social Security Law in Carlos III University of Madrid in Spain. We would like to share with you our experience and teaching sustainability and decent work SDG 8 through MOOCs. So this is the agenda of the presentation. First of all, we talk about the cooperation groups, the origin of the course. In the second part, we ask about MOOC, the special MOOC in English, named SDG Moving Towards Sustainable Work. And at last, the third part of the presentation, the Spanish version of the MOOC, named Escuela de Trabajo Decente in Spanish, Decent Work School. So, in 2018, a group of professors launched the Decent and Sustainable Work Cooperation Group. Cooperation groups are stable teams made up of teachers, researchers, and administration staff whose objective is researching, teaching, and carrying out specific development cooperation projects. The creation of these working groups aims to provide greater continuity and sustainability to the Carlos III University cooperation activities, the integration of different university groups around common projects, or the improvement of the quality of the program financed by the university. In the group, despite our scientific origin is diverse, law, economic, sociology, we all feel the concern and the need of studying and teaching the new framework of universal, collaborative, and sustainable action that SDG mean, especially focusing on Goal 8, decent work and economic growth. Work, in any of its forms, is an essential pillar to guarantee adequate living conditions and therefore effective social integration of individuals. Work has been and is the main way of earning a living, and therefore ensuring that it is decent or adequate becomes an essential element to complete with the 2030 agenda. In this context, from the Vice President of Strategy and Digital Education of the Carlos III University, we were encouraged to design a MOOC on SDG. And here it is, the image of the course, called, named SDG Moving Toward Sustainable Work. The MOOCs, massive open online courses, are special online courses, and by the moment, more than 800,000 students all over the world have enrolled in Carlos III University MOOCs in edX and MediaX platforms. This course means a great deal of effort due to the high requirements of the platform, edX, Harvard University, MIT, but good results followed an excellent reception from students for the 5 continents. In our course, almost 5,000 in 4th edition. The first one, 2018, 736. In the second one, in 2019, 1,003. In the third one, in 2020, 2,088. And in the last one, in this year, 2021, by the moment, 260 students, but it will be open till September. And where are our students? Okay, they are in 145 different countries in the 5 continents, and the countries with the largest number of students are India, United States, and Spain. And it's really really interesting that we've got students even in Africa and especially in Nigeria. There are 45 students in that country, and is really nice for us. Each edition of the course has meant a considerable increase in the number of students compared with the previous one. Significantly, the increase from the second to the third edition, which peaked at more than 100%. This coincides with the coronavirus pandemic and lockdowns, a moment in which online teaching comes to play a central role, highlighting the benefits of MOOC format. It's also interesting to underline the profile of our students. Women in percentages higher than men in 3 editions, and in the vast majority with higher studies, graduate or postgraduate. Very relevant, this data, since the course was designed for an intermediate level of knowledge. This shows perhaps the interest of the proposed content. This figure shows that in the third editions of the course by the moment, the percentage of women is 55, the percentage of men 45. And this other one we shows the level of studies. As you can see, more than 42% have, as I told before, university studies. I mean high level of studies, and with a low level of studies, no more than 14%. And this is really interesting for us. And the age of our students, the median learner age is 31, and it's really interesting too, the data of this percentage of 55, more than 55%, with people who is 26 to 40. So there are younger people normally with high levels of studies. So even though the course was based in SDG 8, some contents are also connected with other SDGs. SDG 1, end of poverty; 3, health and well-being; 5, gender equality; 10, reduction of inequalities. This course is structured in 5 modules for 5 weeks of work, with video lecture, activities, and tests. And the topics: digital economy, robustization, diversity management and equal opportunities, protection against poverty, safety and health, and new forms of work. The course is free, but students can also get a certificate paying $106 to EDX Cursos Harvard University. And now my colleague Daniel Pérez del Prado will present the MOOC in Spanish, the Spanish version, Escuela de Trabajo Decente, Decent School Work.
Thanks, Maite. Well, taking into consideration the success of our previous MOOC in English, we decided to launch a new edition in Spanish. As Maite mentioned, its title is called Escuela de Trabajo Decente. This course had as a base the experience of a previous cooperation project, also called Decent Work School. Among other results, we published a book. You can see here in the slides the book, which is right now in our course one of the most important teaching materials. This project was based on the cooperation with trade unions from both sides of the Atlantic in Colombia and here in Spain, and was focused on developing strategies for achieving the objective of decent work in that country, in Colombia. So, taking into consideration this experience, we decided to launch this course, which is not only focused on Colombia, but on the whole Latin America. It was focused on the countries of Spanish language particularly. The main objective of this course is developing strategies for achieving the SDG number 8 at company level, but focusing, as I mentioned, in Latin America. This means providing the tools in order to achieve that objective within the companies, within the field of industrial relations. As you are going to see in the following slide, this means taking into consideration not only the European perspective, but particularly the Latin American perspective as well. And this is shown in the schedule. As you can see here, we are going to speak about different topics. One of them, or some of them, are not really important here in Europe, but are very important in the another side of the Atlantic. The first module aims to the strategies for this work from an international perspective. Here we analyze different international tools and particularly the Agenda 2030. The second module is strategies for eradicating poverty. This is a common problem, but particularly important in some Latin American countries. The same characteristic has the content of the module number 3, strategies for eradicating forced labor. The module number 4 is focused on managing diversity, that is, how to achieve the objective of decent work, taking into consideration the difficulties of some particular subjects or groups, such as women, migrants, people with problems of employability, etc. And finally, another problem which is particularly important in Latin America, formalization, that is, the different tools in order to incorporate work into the formal economy, in order to incorporate this kind of activity to formal companies as well. Each module is divided in different activities. First of all, there's an introduction to the video, a little explanation about the most important content of that submodule. Secondly, the video, which is the most important tool, the most important teaching tool, in which the content of that submodule is explained. Then the basic, a little summary of the most important point that the student learned. And finally, activities in order to go into the details and practical problems of that topic. Additionally, there's another part to learn more with additional information, just in case someone is especially interested in go further the basic contents of the module. As I've mentioned, there are 5 submodules in each module, and at the end of the module, there's a closing test in order to check the most important contents of the 5 submodules, in other words, the whole module. And we are still in progress. We are not recording the most important videos. Here you have some images, And the forecast is that we are going to launch this new course in Spanish in spring, in the second quarter of this year. And that's all. Thank you for listening. Here you can find our emails if you have some doubts, questions, or if you need extra information.